don't like it. We're snobs. The shark lives! What's up, people? I bought a car. Actually, to be more specific, I basically adopted a car. I adopted a car nobody loves. A few people love them, but losers say it's a bad car. They say it's too expensive to maintain. We don't like it. We're snobs. We're too good for this. We're not actual real car guys. We just want you to think we're important. Well, you people suck. Yes, I have a sweet car, and I'm excited. One, because the only time I've ever been in one of these when I was a kid, before I could drive, and it was the first time as a kid I ever remember doing over 100 miles an hour. My dad test drove this thing and he was all like, oh, the dashboard's cracked, it's expensive to maintain. No, we're not gonna buy it, because I'm lame. I like busted old English cars that never work, and I'm a masochist. Why would I get this car? I might actually be cool. Well, sorry, Dad, I am cool. And I don't mind working on this car. What's up, people? So, I'm not gonna tell you what it is yet, because I'm gonna unveil it in a minute. I'm driving the truck and trailer. But it's a cool car. It allegedly has 32,000 original miles on it, which looks to be accurate based on the condition, which also, given how old it is, means it's sat a lot, which takes a toll on numbers of things. So I'm gonna have to do some restoration work on the interior, the seats, the dashboard. It's got little electrical goofball things happening with electrical switches and stuff in the interior with an old car. But doggone is the engine bay clean, engine's not making funny noise, got great oil pressure, it's running pretty good. Transmission seems all right, clutch seems all right, we'll see. We'll gotta dive into it, and it's a risk, like anything is in life. But this car is an absolute flagship. It was something that back in the day was a dream. But right now they're just not worth anything. Because the snobs haven't decided, oh, I feel very chic by owning this. It's fantastic and I want all my friends to see me driving it. So the prices aren't anywhere because everybody thinks it's difficult to work on, it's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. We'll just take care of it and maintain it. But I got it, which means I gotta be the guinea pig. So either I am living a complete 80s lunatic delusional life, or this is a great car and I'm gonna caretake it and give it the love it deserves, and I'm gonna be the perfect driver and owner for it. And either way, it should be entertaining for you guys. We're all gonna learn something, and I might hate my life, or this is gonna be great, and we're gonna rub it in all the snobs' faces. Haha! You suck as a mechanic if you can't work on this. And I hope you guys enjoy it too, so let me get to the place and unload it. Yes! Yes! So, let's get the car out. Take that, snobs! The shark lives! Like that stupid new Mercedes GT that costs $100,000. Lame! Get a toolbox. Adopt a nice car. Take that, Porsche snob. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm just excited. Yes, yes, yes. But I got a lot of work to do. And let's get this thing inside. But this stupid Batmobile's not charged. I can't raise it up or fight crime. Well, that's annoying. Hooray! So I think you guys will excuse me for acting like a little kid. I'm excited. That's what cars are supposed to be about, being excited. Bringing back the memories, having a little bit of fantasy in terms of thinking of the fun of driving. And this car, I can't wait to drive because it was an awesome, big, grand touring, powerful car from the time. And I think it's just a shame that they became unloved because it's so awesome. And they stood the test of time throughout the 1980s as Porsche's flagship. And I think the butt end on this car is so cool, just being round like that with the lights. It's got this really neat UFO look. The frog eye is kind of like a Lamborghini Miura. And those are cool how they pop out. And it's just a great car. So this particular example is in 1979. It is the 5-speed manual transmission, which I'm really excited about. I wouldn't really want an automatic because I'm not that old yet. It has a dogleg first gear. So first gear is effectively where you normally think second gear would be, and reverse is where you normally think first gear would be. And it's a 5-speed. It's geared pretty tall, so it's gonna be a great highway car. Gonna be great cruising, maybe on a weekend getaway with my wife to have fun, but still kind of sporty and fun. And it's a V8, so that's kind of neat, kind of random for Porsche. Of course, it's just something. It's not the car that's gonna blow everybody away in terms of looks and all, but I think if you've been around, you're a car guy and you appreciate the craftsmanship and the love and everything about it, I guess I just don't have any words. I'm excited. But a story with my connection to one of these goes back to when I was a kid. I think I was just barely in high school, wasn't driving yet, and my dad decided to test drive one. I was around. It was at a Mercedes dealership. Whoa! Yeah, Mercedes dealership. And it was pretty much just like this car, probably in the similar type of shape back when with a cracked up dashboard and all, but we drove it. And I remember he goes out to the stop sign in the countryside and just hits it. Just went for all it was worth. I think we did 125, 130 miles an hour. And for me as a kid, I don't remember going that fast. I think once when I was a little kid, he went maybe like, I don't know, maybe 100 miles an hour with me in the car in a 67 Corvette, and that was neat. But it just stuck with me. And I thought the car was so awesome and that we should buy it. But my dad, you know, he doesn't want to work on anything, and he wasn't the kind of mechanic to work on these sorts of cars, so he didn't do it. He wasn't in love with it. But it stuck with me. And I was just so taken by the car when I was in high school. And now I've got one. So it's pretty exciting. The memory was just a moment, so it's not like a huge love affair going back, and I'm not like overly infatuated with the movie Risky Business, where Tom Cruise drove one when, I don't know, he picks up a hooker when his parents are gone or something like that, and the car ends up in a lake. Hooray. But I'm very excited. The paint on it, as you can tell, is very nice. There's no visible corrosion or bubbling anywhere on this car or body underneath. It is super clean underneath, super clean in the wheel wells, reflective of a car with a little over 30,000 original miles. The person I bought it from got it from the original owner, and the original owner was a storied checkered past where the car sat around for a decade and a half one time, and then like 7 years another time. So low miles, but then you get all the issues with the car sitting around where it's potentially gonna leak, it varnishes the entire fuel system. I mean, just all kinds of things go to pot. But on the plus side, the body, the main components, everything are really well preserved and nice. And that's kind of the hard and expensive stuff. So this car, let's go with the good aspects and then we'll go with the bad aspects. First of all, I bought it for $4,500. So, you know, a V8 vintage Porsche, even if it's unloved, that's not a whole lot of money. So the way I looked at it was, I like the car, I want a project, I've got some sort of weird early childhood thing going on with this car from the 80s, so it's a little cathartic. You'll know when you're old. Or it's like if you grew up watching Initial D and then someday you finally get an AE 86, you'd probably be geeking out, right? Or if you're a Fast and Furious person, you finally get a Supra, you'd be geeking out. So it's kind of a thing like that. I'm looking forward to fixing it up. But so let's go with the bad sides. The seats are a disaster. All the original cloth in the middle of the seats is completely degraded and falling apart. The cloth on the inserts of door panels are not bad, but when I replace that, it's going to go all at once. So I'm going to have to source some of the original Porsche fabric or some really close remakes somewhere in the world. I would prefer just to source the fabric because the leather is good enough that the upholstery guy I know could, you know, like surgically put the cloth back in. And I'm all about saving original stuff if it's good enough. And everything in there with the exception of the main part of the dash and the seat fabric is pretty darn good and completely salvageable. So hopefully I can do that and I don't have to spend an arm and a leg and a fortune on complete seat covers. I want to keep some originality there, just a little bit of patina and some love. Plus, you know, call me a weird old sports car guy, but I kind of like the smell of like old wood and old leather and slightly musty. It just smells like, yes, vintage cars. The wheels are all faded. Those really should be refinished. I might get a little funky and decide to powder coat them in a bronze. I kind of like that bronze wheel with the dark metallic. Sort of neat. I don't care if Porsche people don't like it, so just don't bother commenting, snobs. But it's good for the time period. Also, with regard to the seat, that's got the pinstriped cloth. I am a fancy pants goofball, so I think I'm gonna go with that crazy psychedelic Pasha checkerboard pattern, which is also period correct for this time period. I do not care if that's the way the car didn't originally come, because that was an option and still correct and super cool. So why not have a lot of fun? So the body's really good. It's got little electrical things. It's gonna need some light bulbs. It's gonna need to check wiring. The radio antenna's crap. The radio is maybe working, and the speakers are probably junk. It's got a brake pad light on. The main warning light is on. I don't know why. Gosh, what else? There's knobs and stuff breaking off. The windows tracks are sticky and I need to look at them, but when I take the door panels off, it's a perfect opportunity to check out the window tracks. But other than that, it's got new tires on. The brakes are pretty new, it looks like. The guy put on a new timing belt or belts and water pump and the ancillary belts. Of course, the ancillary belts are loose, so I'm darn well going to be checking these timing belts. And I'll probably just replace them. They're not that hard in this car, which is where everybody loses their mind. The 928 is so hard to work on. It's not that hard to work on. It's just people that can't deal with Bosch Gaugetronic, don't understand that kind of fuel injection, and whine and complain because they can't get their hand in there. It takes time and you have to think ahead and make it work. I worked as a Ferrari and Lamborghini mechanic in college. I can sure as heck work on this thing now. So that's kind of the downside. The other two downsides that made me nearly just walk away from it, I don't know if it's because it was super cold out and it never got to be warmed up or whatnot, but I think second gear synchro is a little slow. So I'm gonna flush that transaxle and see about putting some fluid in. It's not so slow that I didn't like the car, but you're not gonna be just blasting it into second gear without nicking a few teeth. But that happens to some older Porsches with dopey drivers before you. So, but it's perfectly okay. I mean, even old Ferraris from the 80s and whatnot, when it's cold, they'll like, either they won't let you stick it in second gear or they'll grind going into second gear until they warm up. So that's one of those things with older European cars. You just gotta let them be what they are and be sympathetic and caretake them, right? You adopt a car. It's got a personality. It's got its own life. Yes! Not like these garbage new cars. I don't care if I'm inserting crotchety old man speak. I am a crotchety old man. But at least I'm fun. The other bad thing was there's enough condensation in the oil fill that freaked me out that it could have a failing head gasket. Great. Yeah, Casey might have bought a 928 with a failing head gasket. But I like the car, and I don't know, it's a stupid personal thing, but I just want to put some love into something and bring it back, and for it to be really nice and working that I can enjoy and bring some personal satisfaction and pride from having, owning, and making perfect and enjoying with my wife and driving around. And I think that's why we all enjoy cars. I think that's why everybody enjoys modifying them and building them, even for all the people that end up upside down in a project with too much money than it's worth. I'm not a big fan of doing that, but sometimes it's nice just to put some love into it and bring it back to life. It's really a cathartic thing for people, and I think guys everywhere. So that's really it. Got to worry about the head gasket. We'll see when we drive it. Gonna flush the fluids. Gonna do the timing belt, even though allegedly it's been done recently. I just want to make spot on sure. It is idling too high. When you start up cold, it goes to about $2 grand, and then when it warms up, it only comes down to like 1,300, 1,400. So I don't know if it's the warm up, regulate the bypass in the Gaugetronic or kind of the idle stop, but you know, I'll figure that out. It's not too bad. But it is running pretty well, starting pretty well. And makes good power, doesn't miss, so that's nice. Clutch seems to be working well. There's no driveline lash, no crazy noises. Power steering works. I think the alternator's shot. I don't think it's charging, so I got to look into that as well. But it's pleasant. It's a pleasant car. So I'm first gonna get on these seats, restoring them. I think a buddy of mine's gonna come by next weekend, and we're gonna yank the interior out of it, and hopefully I have the material. So I get it to my cool upholstery guy that did the seat on the Top Gun bike and the seat on my Ducati also. So I think he's going to be a great guy. I've seen him work on some vintage Ferraris where he just fixed like parts of the leather instead of redoing the whole thing. So he's going to be really good there. And then that gives me the opportunity to work on the interior. I can fix the dash. The binnacle dash is actually nice. It's not cracked, but the main part of the dashboard is cracked up. So that's going to take a little bit of work to get in there and do, but I can take care of it. Steering wheel, of course, is shrunk. I don't know if I'm gonna restore the original steering wheel, or I might just put in like a Momo Prototipo from the time period. Maybe a Momo Monte Carlo, but this car is from the late 70s, so I feel like a Momo Prototipo is kind of a little cooler, even though it's sort of like late 60s, early 70s. It looks good. What do you want from me? So that's about it, guys. Other than that, it's, you know, it's pretty clean. Just needs some love. And I think me just putting in some, mechanical love that doesn't cost a lot. I mean, timing belts don't cost that much. And apparently it's got a newer water pump and it's running well. So I don't really think I'm going to be spending, I think the seats and all will be kind of the most money initially. Hopefully it doesn't have a head gasket issue. Otherwise that's going to be a heck of a lot of time. And that's it. So mostly the cost is going to be in the seats and the upholstery guy and powder coating the wheels. You guys vote. Should I go silver on the wheels or bronze or kind of a gold? Do you like that? Do you think I'm stupid? Hit me up. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. And it's a big front engine Porsche flagship car that runs well with low miles and a 5-speed for $4,500. And even if it needs some love, even if it takes me a while, I'm gonna have a great sense of pride. And even if this car is never worth anything, never appreciates it, nobody on the planet likes it, every sports car person thinks I'm an idiot for owning it, they hate me, they hate the car, and I get nothing but people flipping me the bird when I drive by, I don't care, because I like the car, and it makes me feel good. And that's what it's all about to be a car guy. Screw you, snobs! The shark will eat you! Ah! Whatever, I'm having fun. Plus, I'm in the garage by myself. And nobody watches my YouTube channel except all of the public that are now going to think I am a lunatic. But you guys already thought I was a lunatic. Otherwise, why would you have subscribed? So hopefully I'm at least entertaining. But that's it. I am on an 80s kick. I don't know, maybe it's a midlife thing. I don't really care if it is or not because I'm having fun and this is not over. This isn't over yet. Whew. So the Top Gun bike should be done pretty soon in terms of the paint. I just talked to the paint people, so a couple weeks on that I'm hoping. We'll get it back together, do the exhaust, it's gonna start looking good. The Ducati, as you guys know, is sitting in my den. I need to do the wiring and rebuild the carbs on it, but it's home, so that'll be good. So my plan is get the 928 done. I want the seats and interior done ASAP in December and January here. The Top Gun bike, same time frame. And the Ducati, in that time when I'm home, getting done before the spring to ride it, but the Top Gun bike will be soon. And that, because next year is gonna be amazing with Genius Garage. We have a giant surprise! Actually, a number of giant surprises, lots of them, crazy announcements. You guys are gonna lose your mind. So I got a lot of work getting ready for that to do, but I also got some work to get my own projects finished and out of the way, and I hope you guys will enjoy watching it. But in the meantime, screw you snobs, screw you people that think these are hard to work on, and screw anybody who doesn't like Porsche 928s, because I do, and that's all that matters. And I think it's the anti-Porsche snob car, and I think that's awesome. All right, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed this, that you will like, comment, and of course subscribe. See you guys next time.